Hello, welcome back to That Sounds Gay. My name is Jer. We're here with Jesse.
Oh.
We have a kind of new setup, so like things are very comfy right now.
Yeah, very gorgeous. I'm just
loving
sprawled
this.
out on the couch.
So this is a little immersion breaking for everyone listening. However, at the time of filming right now, Global All-Stars just finished, right? Alyssa Edwards is the winner. How do you feel about that? I haven't been watching.
My favorite thing has been... Do you know how I found out Alyssa won?
How?
I saw a meme where it was like, ladies, it's her time. And it was a picture of Coco when she got crowned as Miss Gay America or Miss Gay USA after she took Alyssa's title. That picture of her in the yellow dress with the scepter, like that
That's
glamour
iconic.
shot. So, yeah, if Alyssa is unable to fulfill her, her duties as reigning queen of the world,
That's iconic.
Coco Montrese will be able to step in on her behalf and fill out the duties of her reign.
Why is that perfect?
I've also seen a lot of mess.
Yeah.
Like continued mess.
So much mess.
Well, because also it's like people, even after this season now, obviously everyone loves Nelly.
Right.
But I'm seeing this like new thing of like perpetuating that maybe Nelly was not like that during filming. Like another queen saying still that like she's like shady, like
another queen named Queen.
Another queen who I love, so I don't want to throw her into the beef.
Sure.
But like she also said something at a viewing party that was kind of like not as like pro Nelly as like everyone else is. So I'm like,
fascinating.
What is this mess of a season?
Yeah, it's gonna continue to be messy, I fear.
Unless they're all just messing it up for.
You think?
For engagement. I don't know.
They know that it was bad.
Messy. I don't know. I don't know if they would get this messy, but yeah, crazy season.
Yeah. So that happened. España 4 is happening.
It sure is.
Thailand 3 is happening.
It sure is.
It's a mess. It is not good.
Huge bummer.
Dragula 666 is happening.
Huge slay.
Canada 5 just dropped.
The promo,
yeah. What's the other season that's on right now?
Well,
there's one more.
Well, Philippines just wrapped up.
Right.
And then Down Under starts on November 1st.
Oh my God.
Michelle's Down Under.
Right. That's so much Drag Race.
Did you hear about all the mentors for Down Under?
I saw that Anita's coming back. I saw Sasha
Colby. Yeah, all the previous winners.
That's really cool.
Are going to come back as mentors. So
are they going to be like a Tim Gunn? Or?
I don't know. I'm really curious how they're going to do it because it seems like they're trying some new things out to kind of pad out Michelle being the host,
Yeah. Isn't there what is it? It's not Italia. There's one of the other seasons. I was just looking at this Zverij, where there's a male judge. I was just looking at like the judge roster list, and there was a dude with a mustache.
That is, yes, bald.
Yeah,
I think so. That is sweet. I love Sweden.
I think it was them. I don't know. I just saw a dude, and I'm like, and not a messy man. Because I know that Fred was out of drag for the promo, so like I wasn't sure if this one also was.
No. Like a male host?
Yeah.
Oh,
like a dude host, like a non-draggy host.
Oh, I don't know. No, Sweden.
Oh no, maybe it's not.
It's not Sweden.
Is it Germany?
Germany is Barbie Breakout.
Maybe it's not them then. I don't know. I saw a dude. I looked up Drag Race hosts, and I saw a dude.
Is it? Wait, no.
They were at the bottom of the list. Hold on. Now I got to go back to my investigative journalism.
Yeah, wait.
Drag
what
Race
is this?
Judges. Or hosts, not even judges. Sorry, podcast listeners, as we attempt to suss out who this is. Category is hosts. This is from the wiki. Okay, it's at the very, very, very bottom. Someone named Giovanni from Germany. He's like this beautiful looking man with a mustache and a beard, full lips, a nice combed over hair that looks like it's a little salt and pepperish. He's like kind of kind of Dilfy.
Gianni,
not Giovanni. I'm sorry.
Do you know what that is? What is that? Gianni is Barbie Breakout's partner.
Oh.
So they're like a co-host.
Got it. Okay.
It's all coming back to me now.
Celine Dion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's this woman who doesn't speak German.
God.
And then Barbie Breakout, who looks like Barbara Jean.
Okay.
And then her partner, who's just kind of like her right hand.
Wild. Okay. I'm following.
That's what that was.
I'm understanding now.
Sorry, I did not remember sooner.
No. There are 100,000 seasons of Drag Race, and we are slowly approaching I think right now where we're at is where the bloat starts. In this episode that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where it starts. Because next week, we're going to be discussing Drag Race Holland Season 2.
Girl.
And then we have All Stars 6, and then Italia, and then there's one more, Canada 2, I think. And that's the end for the 2021 year. So, like, we are in full 100 miles an hour Drag Race. We're, like, not even at 60. We're at 100.
Yeah.
We went real quick. So we're picking back up where we left off. Last time we talked about the Snatch game that had the combination ball. Yes. My queen Arancha. Castilla-La Mancha was eliminated. Inti left the competition. And I feel like Poopy keeps getting overlooked. Those were the big highlights from last time. The girls currently, as we're walking into the Art of Drag episode 5, the girls are thinking that Poopy was the winner, and they are pretty blatant that she was funnier than Killer. And, knowing how this season ends, it's kind of interesting that it came down kind of the two of them.
Yeah, totally.
They have this dynamic that continues on. It's an interesting storyline that starts here in this episode. We have a fun little mini challenge where they had to crush grapes, and I only wanted to bring it up because Carmen kept calling Poopy this fat old lady.
So hateful.
They stepped in the grapes, and it filled up like a quarter of the way, and Carmen digs at her the whole time, and it pans to all the buckets because they had to like fill a certain amount, and it's like, I don't know, a quarter of a liter, like barely a liter, and then theirs was like 15 gallons.
It was huge. A huge stark difference. Like, what were they doing? It was crazy.
Whatever those two women were doing, they were squishing the hell out of those grapes.
Yeah, they went crazy.
I just needed to bring it up because, like, what a fun, silly mini challenge.
Yeah.
And I love this way better than those dumb, like, get into quick drag and come and dance to a stupid song.
Yeah, these are so much more fun.
Right. And we love fun.
I love to have fun.
So, the Maxi Challenge is a parody of something called Física o Química, right?
Sí.
It's a history TV series. And I actually looked it up. This is the Wikipedia synopsis. It ran from 2008 to 2011. It's about a group of novice teachers who begin to teach at an institute. And they talk about everything from like sex, heartbreak, love. Fascinating little television show.
I'm assuming it's like a Skins Degrassi kind of
tea. It seemed very Degrassi-esque.
But for them, and also iconically, it was Javier Calvo's breakout role.
Wait, really?
Yeah, so that's also why they're referencing it. Is Javi?
Okay.
I don't know what his character was, but he was in it. Little baby, let me find it.
I was wondering why Dovima during the comedy challenge brought up why it was canceled. Oh, look at that baby.
Little baby Javi.
Little baby.
Yeah. I don't know if his character is gay in the show. I feel like it is. It is.
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like he is.
Yeah, I mean.
But yeah, we love a drama moment.
Yeah.
So that's also, it's a cute little homage to him.
Yeah, that's really cute. Okay, I didn't know that. So they have to do something called, the show is going to be called Básico o Cínico, I believe.
Yeah.
Basic or Cynic. which I didn't really think that title played into any of the comedy skits. But this was the most batshit thing I have ever seen in my life. Poopy playing that horny old woman. Marking the test.
Poopy, Carmen with the bananas. Ugasio and the anal beads. Like, there's a lot with this challenge.
There was so much.
I think I texted you that the acting challenge is a lot. Or, or that it was cringe.
It was crazy.
It's extremely crazy.
I thought it was hilarious, though.
The Carmen, every time it cuts to her, she
was very do you remember Asia in that app challenge where she looked like Lucy?
Butterface.
Yes.
Very
a Baywatch body with a hurricane face. Wow. That was very her energy that whole time, because every time she was in the background she was making those faces and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
She was like dead. Yeah. Again, this is a reference that I don't understand, but as an uneducated American, it's almost funnier that this corpse woman is like gagging on bananas in the background of every shot. Like, who's this zombie? Why does she have bananas?
Have to do with any of this?
But it's pretty hilarious.
It is. And Poopy killed her too. That's the other thing.
Oh, yes.
That's their storyline at the very end of this TV skit, is that Poopy murdered her.
Honestly, Poopy is the teacher. It was very Vivian as the headmistress coded.
Oh, yes. Please, Noelle.
Yeah, naughty headmistress. Just like, oh, God. It was, I mean, who else but Poopy could have done that role in that cast, though?
Literally like, no one.
It was so good.
It was everything.
I mean, like, I don't really have much else to say about the challenge because it was so crazy.
It was.
But those were my favorite parts.
Yeah, me
Poopy
too.
And Carmen mainly.
I loved them so much. They were everything to me. I do want to say I do love Javier Calvo's personal style. In the challenge, he's wearing like this t-shirt with this like styled, patterned like overall thing.
Yeah.
And he just looks so tasty every single week with his personal style. Like, I want to steal his wardrobe.
Yeah, he has a great balance of like, his style is all like a little thirst trappy, but it's all still quite stylish as well.
Yeah, very like 90s, early 2000s, where they were layering everything on top of each other. And I kind of live, laugh, love that.
Yeah.
Like, I love his style. The runway was really fun. It was Spanish art eleganza extravaganza, which is totally on Hugasio's alley.
Yeah, this was her runway faux show.
Totally. She turned it out. But Carmen was doing that, what was it, the McQueen thing where they spun? They referenced it in season 4.
Yeah.
It was
great. But she actually like did a cool interpretation of it.
I love that. Did you have standouts?
I mean, first of all, Ugasio's is really cool.
So good.
But I mean, she's like the one that like you probably are like expecting to kill this runway. You know, I don't love. Oh, that's so hateful to say. I don't like to just preface by saying I don't like her, but but I mean, Killer Queen's Salvador Dali look was really cool.
It was really fascinating. I liked it.
I loved that they like really like had such a cool physical interpretation of the like the melting clocks and everything, and like how they blended the different like dimensions and perspectives. I thought for me, like them, Ugasio, and then like this is a type of look we've seen a million times. But I loved Dovima's. The just wearing the painting as a dress thing. Like we've seen quite a bit of that now.
I didn't love it. I thought the shape. I thought the pattern was interesting, but I did not love the shape of it. She looked like a mess. But you loved it.
I mean, I like the idea of it. I like the flowy, like romantic.
Her legs look great in this dress. I think they look really good. And I like the hairstyling a lot.
Yeah, I like the lighter styling on her. I was just reading that Carmen's is based on a piece called Menina by Joan Miro.
Oh.
I don't know who that is, but I'm Googling it.
Yeah, so Poopy was a mess.
Oh my God, Poopy.
Poopy was a disaster. Oh, that is literally the exact same thing.
That's cool, but She had a gorgeous interpretation.
Yeah.
Not Poopy.
Not Poopy.
Poopies was
Carmen.
crazy.
Poopy's was nuts.
Poopy with the hair too.
Yeah. One thing I noticed about this particular episode is by this point, the judges seem really synergistic with each other. They seem like they're building a stronger rapport.
Yeah.
They're having fun. They're joking with each other, not at the contestants' expense, more at each other's expense. They're interacting with each other's critiques and providing extra feedback.
Yeah.
And they seem to have hit a stride that is so different from the first couple episodes where they seemed like they hadn't really figured out what they were doing yet.
Yeah, still getting comfy, probably with each other, not wanting to overstep.
Right.
But no, I feel like and by the time you get to now, like they have such a great rapport. I love it.
Yeah. I'm really liking them a lot. And I know last time I was still trying to figure everything out and trying to remember even everybody's names, but now I'm so obsessed with this cast and with this judging panel, and I understand why people say that España is the one.
España is the one.
It's so good. It's so good. So Supreme does ask everyone who should go home, and everybody except Ugacio says Ugacio should go home.
Yeah.
And that freaking hurts when they all say that.
Yeah, because Ugacio has been doing so good up until like a week or two ago.
Yeah, and it feels bad, and a lot of these challenges are not built for them at all. Poopy finally gets her flowers. I was really happy that she finally won something, because I mean, that moment where she like circles out and she goes, "Yeah, you get a big fat 0, you stupid slut." And then she's like doing whatever she's doing, gets all horny, and it's like, "Oh, the video."
So stupid, so hilarious. She didn't need a script.
No, she was maniacal.
She could have gone off for hours.
Yeah, and I would have watched it. I totally would.
Even in that wretched look, she still won. Even in that awful, awful look.
It really was rotten. It was pretty terrible. The bottom two is Ugacio and Killer. I thought this made sense in my fantasy. The song is Fangoria by Espectacular. I really did like this song a lot.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of it was the Javis. They just got so excited. They were like bachelorettes.
They were living. I'm like, this song must go hard in the club.
It's got to. They were like jumping and screaming. And like, that's what I'm really loving about this judging panel is that when it gets to the lip sync, they're like, woo!
They get so lit for the lip syncs. Yeah. I love it. And for like when you get to the later seasons as they have talent shows, they love the talent shows.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with them. I'm obsessed with how much they love drag. I'm obsessed with how just jazz they are to be there. It's such a different energy from mainline Drag Race.
Yeah, they still feel super gracious to be there.
Yeah.
You know, like they're still like super like humble and like they like even Supreme like still feels like very gracious to everyone.
The energy is there.
Yeah.
We're grateful to be here and we want to keep being a part of this. This was a really great song. Ugacio is unfortunately out at this point. We move into a comedy challenge where they have to do puppets, and these were the most rotten puppets I've ever seen. The quality was bad.
Puppets in España are something else, girl.
What was that? What were they made of? Felt?
Okay, so that's the thing is like the puppets, whenever they try to do them anywhere else, it's rough because the puppet makers in the US are really good. I'm assuming they use them for the UK too.
Probably.
But these
got her dispo.
The international seasons, those puppets, girl,
they fall apart.
Yeah.
And like the one, Carmen lost her head. Carmen's head got ripped off.
Yeah, the voodoo doll of it all. Honestly, it was funny how Carmen played into it.
Yeah. I love how silly and goofy she is.
Yeah.
But everybody was awful. So the only funny thing that I thought from the Glamour Girls was Sahi pulling out her puppet and calling it Caillou.
Oh,
Or Kylo, whatever that little brat is. Caillou, Kylo, whatever that little bratty cartoon boy is.
Bald bitch.
The little bald bitch. Dovima was awkward. Poopy was really funny. I did love that little slow ass walk that she did where she like dragged that puppet all the way across.
Yeah.
And then Carmen's Killer Queen was very surprisingly funny. And I wrote in my notes, what can this woman do?
Also Carmen's was it Carmen's Killer Queen impersonation that had Dovima like It was so funny.
I have not seen Dovima break. At this point in the competition, I'm not liking Dovima at all.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, they walk in the workroom and they try to do their silly thing, like do fake jump rope, and she just looks at them and calls them imbeciles and sits down. They like come in and try to do like a bit, and she side eyes them and rolls her eyes and walks away. And I'm like, girl, you're on Drag Race. Have fun.
Yeah, she's so serious. I kind of love it. I think it's hilarious.
Do you?
Because like, just like she is her.
Yeah.
Till the end.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like, no, jumping ahead to that, like to when she leaves, like she's her through and through. And I love that.
You live.
Yeah. I just have like a constant like loop in my brain of Anna Locken going, beckoning her to perform. She's shaking her head no at her.
That was fierce. I will say that was fierce. Despite whatever I thought about it. We'll get there very soon. So we have a comedy challenge for this episode. And I was already expecting the worst because that puppet show was so bad. I'm like, these girls are going to be
set an
awkward.
unhealthy precedent.
Literally. It made me realize that this was going to be bad. And I was not looking forward to it. Carmen got to choose the order of the show. And I thought she was pretty smart with it. We started with Killer Queen, who is playing like a lawyer character.
With the huge ass glasses.
With the huge ass glasses. What did you think about that for a roast? Because I don't think we've seen someone do a lawyer collecting evidence against the panel before. And that was a POV.
I mean, she's smart.
Yeah.
And I think it's a similar-ish angle to how she won Snatch Game.
Oh, totally.
Is like kind of playing into that, like that kind of talk and that kind of like demeanor.
Right.
With like how she was like campaigning with her her Snatch Game character.
Right.
So I can see like the wheels turning of like she's one of those people where like they won't just do something as themselves. Yeah, like I feel like there's got to be a little
bit.
Yeah, it's got to be as like as the cousin or like as as a lawyer, you know, whatever. I mean, yeah, I think that it was a smart approach.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I really liked her her line where she said that she tried to go to Wikipedia and they couldn't even help her figure out who Anna was. And it was so you-coded because I remember like, I don't know, 4 seasons ago, we were talking about one of the guest judges. I brought them up and you said she doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
It's so real. It's like if I can't Wikipedia you, then I can't trust you.
I feel that. But I mean, that's such a barometer that I think is so emblematic of your generation specifically. And it makes me giggle every time.
Yeah. If I can't read a third person like summary of someone or something, then it's not real.
Right.
Same with movies.
I get
like,
that.
I think that's a similar generation thing of like, oh, this movie doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
How bad must it be?
Yeah.
Or how low budget was it?
If the movie doesn't have a Wikipedia. Yeah.
So then we have Carmen. And she's also playing a character. She's sort of playing it ditzy. Is that like mean nice thing that a lot of girls try to do, but none of them do successfully? They all end up being bitchy. And Carmen did it so well. It was so funny. I love that she was like, I love Anna. She's a famous designer. I even modeled for her and I cry every time I think about that modeling because it was so ugly.
Do you know why I think Carmen was able to pull it off? Is because like she is kind of mean ditzy though. Like,
all the time.
She's like kind of a bitch, but she's also like funny ditzy. Like she is kind of like a less like huge version of this character she's doing because she is a little bit like she'll cut you a little bit and she'll say some like really shady shit, but then also she's such like she's also like simultaneously the clown of the group.
Totally.
Which is that's also what's so great about her. She's like simultaneously like the clown and the alpha. Like
she is the main character. You know, she's kind of I mean, I'm trying to think of because she's not mean in mean-spirited nature, but she's like almost like an Emma Roberts character, like in Scream Queens. Like she says these cutting things, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
And it's delivered with so much humor that you're like, I don't hate that you just called everyone in the workroom ugly. Like when she had that group of the two girls, I think it was Dovima and Sahi, right? But they did the Ugly Busters.
Oh, yeah. I think that's them. I think
it was the three of them. They were the Ugly Busters for like 5 minutes. And they walk in and she was like, we're here to defeat all the uglies.
Yeah.
And it was like, God damn, that's mean.
Yeah. It's kind of like the light, like Heathersy kind of vibe.
Totally.
But even less severe than Heather's because they were pretty rude.
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone there like is still like respects each other. And,
right.
Like there's still like such a good like
this is a
like
nice rapport.
Yeah. Like compared to a season like 3 or 5 where you have cliques, but it's not like that.
Yeah.
Like they're still all friends. So it's not as serious when they're calling each other ugly or like stuff like that, you know?
Sahi started with really great energy, but then forgot her joke and started to spiral downhill. It was incredibly awkward.
Yeah. And it's like, I was not expecting anything from her. So when she started good, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But then like, yeah.
I was expecting nothing.
Yeah.
And then I got exactly what I was expecting.
I mean, yeah, the people you expect to do bad in this challenge do bad. Spoilers, you know?
Well, there was one that was surprising to me. So then Dovima starts out really strong too. I like the Dear Diary. It's episode 6 and I still can't find my glasses.
Okay, that was
again, great start.
Funny start. I'm like, oh, she's gonna do something like stupid and light, and like maybe we'll get a bit of a different energy from her.
Yeah,
I was optimistic.
Me too. You know about the inner saboteur. That wig was her outer saboteur. Who needs an inner saboteur when you've got a unstyled Lily Munster wig?
What? And it's like you didn't have problems with it before you got to that point.
You didn't see the issues before you took it out of
the
bag.
Like it didn't wrestle you like as you're trying to pack it or anything. Like didn't pull out some nails or anything and be like, oof, maybe this is a bad idea.
Or even just a singular bit of hairspray on that wig would have helped.
Yeah, a little salt spray.
Just one spritz.
A salt spray and a couple scrunches.
Just one scrunch would have been fine, and that would have been more than enough.
You just flip the head upside down and give it a little tussle.
For those nice beachy waves. Give those vibes, girl. Yeah, I did like when she finally found the glasses and called Supreme divine. That was funny.
Yeah.
But like it took so long to get it to a joke because that hair was so distracting. It was like Sasha Bell.
There's a lot of dead air between. And yeah, with the hair, you're also like, she does it once and then you're watching for her to do it again. And then every time it comes out, you're like, oh God.
Not again.
Yeah. Again.
Freaking can. Nothing new, nothing changed. And then finally Poopy was so unfunny. And I was shocked, actually.
Who would have seen it coming?
I didn't. What do you think about the conversation that they had about Supreme's ears? Because I feel like in a roast, anything's on the table, but sometimes I feel weird about body stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends. It really depends on, like, is this something that someone has worked actively hard to correct or change?
Yeah.
Because it seemed like Supreme has had work on her ears before.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be something you should stay away from.
Yeah.
Where like Alexis's Pillberry rolls, like that's fine.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't like done any. Sorry, Alexis, mute this part. It's not like she's like gone and gotten surgery or something and then been like, hey, please don't talk about my body because I've worked really hard to move away from this. It's like, and it's in good fun and it's something silly. I don't know.
Yeah. And like, I don't know.
You can unmute Alexis.
Yeah, Alexis, it's okay. This is a safe space. Yeah, it's hard because I feel like body in general, especially like a permanent body thing.
Right.
Because it's one thing if it's something like, if you're talking about their makeup or like a styling or something that's very impermanent, that's whatever.
Right.
Even like, you know, if they have like a tan, like I think Carmen's tan was a roast point at some point, like that's different because that's a cosmetic choice or something that can be changed, but like things that are like a like, okay, even for example, I don't really think nose jokes are funny. Because on España 4, the girl who won the reading challenge, she was pointing out that like pretty much everyone had the same joke to her about her nose.
Got it.
And she's like, I was the only one who came up with fresh material. That's why I won. But it's like same thing of like, it is kind of like a lot of times physical features are kind of like the most obvious. I feel like that's like physical features are for when like you're fighting in the street and having an argument.
Totally.
You know, not saying that's okay, but I feel like that's for when it's like it's 2 a.m. and you're drunk and you're yelling across the street at them and like, well, your front teeth are ugly, you know?
The wigs are already off at that point.
Yeah. You have a butt chin. Yeah. That kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. Yeah. Gloves are off.
Right. The Denny's is closed. They've already kicked you out.
Yeah. I don't like that cauliflower ear. Stuff like that.
Cauliflower ear.
Yeah. Stuff like that. So
Totally.
I don't know. I feel like if you can, especially if you're someone like Poopy, who's like, you're definitely funnier.
So funny.
It's like, if you're able to come up with funnier material, then why not come up with funnier material?
Totally. I was shocked at how bad she did.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Because, like, I mean, I think you can make the audience uncomfortable to a certain point with, like, subversion humor, maybe. But, like, I think making them uncomfortable because you're talking about an insecurity or a flaw is not the same thing. Because I think that you can use discomfort as a device in comedy, but not like insecurity discomfort.
Totally. I would agree with that. And especially like in a roast where you're meant to go really far, is like a lowest common denominator point as pushing it as far as you could go.
Yeah. Well, because I think that there's like, I think there's a level of insecurity that is like, it's more like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe you said that.
Right.
Like something like that. Where it's like a spray tan or something where it's like, that is kind of like, ooh, that's mean, but it's like, that's still kind of funny.
Right.
In a roast setting.
Right.
Where, yeah, that was just like, oh, that's harsh.
You know, one joke that is sticking out to me right now from a different season that I've been giggling about ever since and I haven't stopped was in Canada versus the World 2. And Alexis Mateo said to Kennedy, if you're going to have two faces, you might as well paint one of them pretty. I love that shit. It's so overdone, but it's funny.
Yeah. Well, okay. And that's also another thing is I feel like it's easier to do a bit more of a jabbing joke if it's not so like, you can get away with a bit more of a tired joke if it's something that's maybe a bit meaner,
right?
Because that almost buffers it in a way.
Totally.
Where if there's like a joke about someone's appearance completely out of the blue, and you've never heard that joke before, you're like, whoa, I was not expecting that person to get dragged like that.
Yeah.
But if it's something that is like kind of like hateful and kind of mean, but it's like a really like expected like joke format or like punchline delivery, the humor of that in a way kind of is different, right? If that makes sense.
We'll talk about this in 2 or 3 weeks, depending on if it takes us 1 or 2 episodes to get through Holland. But Kylie's joke towards Ginger. Ginger Minch, you are shaped like a deep breath. That is such a funny play on a size joke that a billion people have done.
Yeah.
But it's done so well.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
That's great. Or like Latrice, the original Latrice to Jiggly BMW Body Made Wrong.
Yes.
Like that's cutting, but that's also like hilarious.
Yeah. Those are fun versions of like sort of something mean cutting about someone's body image.
And also like there's an inference, but there's not a specific. You're shaped like a deep breath. Like you get it. But it's not like you're not calling out like your love handles or like your rolls or like whatever. And so it's not an ear, it's not a nose, it's not a butt chin. Right.
Bat wings.
Yeah. It's not that bulging vein on your forehead.
Not the vein bulge. So we have Night of 1,000 Rosalias. I'm vaguely aware of this celebrity.
Yes, a queen.
A queen for sure. I want to talk about the queen of this season, though, and this cast and this episode, because Poopy has a sword and gun outfit, which Carmen also had, and decided to scrap it. And on top of that, not only was all of this that, Dovima is struggling with her outfit and it falls apart, so Carmen gives her own backup that she had for Rosalia, and then builds a
third Rosalia
look that is made out of like pleather with fringe.
Yeah.
And pocket details that were not in functional pockets, but had pocket details, sewed buttons on, and made an impeccably cut fringe while preparing for a roast. She's that girl.
How?
She is that girl.
Because like her look doesn't even look like it was sewn. It doesn't look like a sewing challenge look.
No, that looks like something that was prepared and made by an actual designer. The work on this is impeccable, and it's insane to me that she was able to accomplish this. I just don't understand.
And even more specific, it's a reference. It's not like I need a look that's going to fit this category.
Yes.
Let me whip something up that because when you see queens whip something up same day, it's usually a pretty generic look.
Right.
She has to do a reference, like a recreation of something.
And then she got that is insane. I mean, I don't understand how she did this.
Yeah.
Looking at it, I do not understand how she had time to make this in the workroom. And I mean, the only concept that I have in my brain is I know that they can sometimes ask the PAs to go and get stuff for them. So like, I wonder if she did ask them like, hey, go to the fabric store and use my allowance this week to go and buy me this patent leather, please. And I'm going to make this, because there's no way they had that fabric in the workroom. There's just, I mean, maybe,
right?
But I doubt it.
I mean, maybe, but then like how, like she sees that and she's like, oh, this is like that 2020 Grammys look. That's like the red, like, she
looked at that and said, I just love Rosalia and that 2020
Grammys look.
2020 Grammys look, baby.
Please. But yeah, she ate.
She devoured
for a last minute moment. She ate.
And the belt.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Little cunty belt.
Insane that she was able to come up with that. So the winner is Carmen, who is so deserved.
Yeah.
And the bottom two is Dovima and Sahi, the roommates that never solved their beef on the show, which I did think was interesting. We never even got an answer in the reunion. They basically said, like, what happened with us stays with us and we won't share it. And I was like, come on, you're on TV.
I don't know if this is true. I heard something where they basically just like agreed to like play it up between them to keep themselves around.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true.
Fascinating.
But I read that, and like if that is true, that's kind of smart.
Yeah. The song was Haute Couture by Rosalia.
A bop.
It was really
I love this song.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dovima gives up. And she just stands there.
Yes.
Because she did not want to give any indication that Sahi should not stay.
Yes.
And did not move until like maybe the last 30 seconds where Sahi was like begging her to do something.
Yeah.
And then she like moved her mouth barely. The judges lose their shit. They're like, yay, she could do something.
It was giving like socially like super shy friend at the club where like you took them out and they weren't moving. And then finally they like bobbed their shoulders and everyone's like, oh my God, yes, they're dancing.
You're out of your disassociation episode. Yeah. We're so proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I, at first, thought it was really disrespectful. In the moment, I'm like, this bitch. Everything that I did not like about her until this point was true. I just knew she was that girl. And then when she explained herself, I'm like, okay. Well, I don't think you're a bitch. I understand. You wanted your friend to stay, and you did not want to fight for it. But I mean, at least like do a Charlie Hides and just fake an orgasm.
But you know? I was just, like I said, that visual of Anna beckoning, like, come on. And she just shakes her head. No, I'm not doing this.
Right. Just totally petulant. I love the Javis losing their shit over Sahi, though.
Okay, yeah. The drama of it all. Okay. Because we have Anna like trying to get Dovima to perform
and do
we
anything.
have the Javis like living for Sahi, like they're at the club watching her.
Yes.
We have Carmen
having
in
a
the
full
back
telenovela breakdown.
crying.
The main character energy of it, of the cameraman not even focusing on the lip sync, constantly zooming back on her, and her hair's in her face.
Her
and
hair's
she's
in her
like
face, and she's like
slow-mo moving, which was not camera work. She legitimately was just moving in slow-mo, like falling to her knees, putting her face in her hands.
the performance.
She was back there serving telenovela, and I was obsessed.
It was so good.
It was so camp. God, I mean, it was a great lip sync because of that.
Yeah.
But it's wild to me that Dovima went from lip syncing solo, the first solo lip sync, and then just giving up here.
She's the queen of lip syncs this season.
Yeah. I was gagged.
First lip sync of the season, solo lip sync, no lip sync.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, she says she like reaches her limit, and the Javis are crying.
Yeah.
And Anna's crying, and Supreme is crying. And I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, y'all really loved this girl.
They loved her.
They wanted her to do so good, and she was not into that at all.
Yeah. Okay, and so that's something interesting about España is like a lot of the times you're gonna see these judges believe in the queens more than the audience usually does.
Yeah.
Because Drag Race is usually like RuPaul and them are usually ahead of the audience where like they kind of give up on them before the audience even does.
Right. Look at Marsha.
Yeah. Whereas like they kind of just like check out with them like after a certain point. Whereas like with España, they're gonna hold out for you.
Yeah.
As long as they can.
Everyone's a Jimbo to RuPaul in España.
Yeah.
Like every one of those queens are Jimbo to Supreme and those judges.
Well, like even hopefully you forget this by the time we roll back around to it. But in season 4, this episode I just watched, this girl, it was like her time. And they told her like, you have everything, you just like need to like fine tune it. And like it really felt like it was her time, but she did so good in the lip sync and they made it double safe.
That's wild.
Where it's like, it really like, it felt like they wrapped up her thing and like the writing was on the wall, but it's like, well, you really fought for this. So like you should, if you want to still be here, then you should still be here.
That sounds like, what's her name in Thailand too? What was her name? Who was like, not Bandit.
Kana Warrior.
Kana. Where she's like, yeah, I don't know. Anjali should be here and I just don't want to be, and you should save her. And you're like, but fight for it. And she goes, okay, if you want me to.
And
they're like, okay, well, you could stay.
Yeah.
Even though it was like her 5th lip sync at that point. It's like, girl, come on.
Yeah.
I get that. Sometimes in some of the international seasons, you can tell they really want them to succeed.
Yeah.
And part of me lives for that.
Yeah.
I really do. So we move into the final 4. Dovima writes that the crown was Carmen's. And even if I did not know how this season ended, I mean, obviously, that's
congratulations, Raja.
Right. Very congratulations, Raja. Thank you, Mariah, for that. Yeah, because I mean, like, I'm looking at the rest of the girls and I'm like, Poopy's great, but the judges don't really seem to respond to her. Plus, her fashion is not up to snuff.
Yeah.
And we've got Killer, who I think has been doing fine, but I don't think Killer has been as amazing as everyone thought she was. And then Sahi was giving like Naomi vibes.
Yeah.
In season 8 specifically, where it's like, you're doing good, but you're just not baked all the way yet.
Yeah. Sahi's too green, and Killer just like, no offense, has such runner-up queen vibes of the like quirky, like sweet, like fun runner-up.
Yeah.
Where like, especially for a first season, I don't think that Killer is like the first winner.
No,
of a
not
franchise.
at all. And it's very obvious that Poopy is not what they're looking for the winner, even though I live for her.
Yeah.
But she's Spanish Trimala, so like she's not going to win.
And but also something else that like really enforces that too is seeing Envy in this episode.
Oh my god.
Because like
she looked so great.
Is Carmen not the envy of
Totally.
España? Like, because it's that thing of like, it's just like such a perfect first winner. Like she's beauty, she's grace, she's poised, she's fun, like she ticks every box. And like, yeah.
It's funny that Envy's here because the next season that's dropping is Holland.
Oh yeah.
But controversially, and we talked about this in Holland 1, I don't think Envy did perfectly in every challenge. I thought she was really steady and good, but I thought there were moments where Janie and Sutter-Jean were doing way better than she was.
Yeah.
Where I feel like Carmen undeniably has done so good. Stomped. Like, she's one of the few winners I can think of that genuinely, without any producer pushing, without any producers forcing a storyline, has genuinely been the best of the best.
And also, like, not be like an emerging winner.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I mean, we hate her, but she's like Sharon, where she came in episode 1, immediately a main character.
Very that.
Maintained a core presence all season, because especially nowadays, I think they like to have a winner kind of come up a little bit more, where everyone's a little more mixed in the edit, and then this person kind of starts emerging.
Right.
But like, Carmen was that girl from day one.
Literally.
She stayed being that girl all season and continued to be that girl.
Yeah.
Up until the very end.
Until the very end. Yeah, there's not really any winners I can think of that were like that. I mean, except for Redacted. Because a lot of the winners, I feel like they have this main character plot armor where sometimes they're pushed to in the front of a challenge and they're pushed to be the winner. And I think there were definitely contestants that did better than them. And so then I think that win doesn't feel right to me.
Or like, we'll see with like a season like Holland or, well, the winner isn't necessarily a favoritism issue, but in other seasons, the winner sometimes is like, they do great, but it's also like, you can tell how much the judges love them. And with España, it's like, they love everyone. Like, with this cast, like, you feel like they have equal stake in everyone, but like Carmen really just is,
except for Macarena.
Fuck that bitch. But they seem to really care equally about everyone, and it seems like they believe anyone could win more than we do.
Totally.
Like, they still feel like Sahi could pull through, or Killer could pull through.
Absolutely. It doesn't feel like they're pushing Carmen to be the winner. Like, she just is.
Yeah.
So the main challenge, Maxi, this week is a makeover, and they have some gay rugby players.
They sure do.
Didn't we just have gay rugby players in Down Under?
Was that Down Under?
Yeah, we just did that 3 weeks ago.
I like, when I tell you, I have already forgotten every single look from that Down Under makeover.
Oh my God, really? I could swear they were gay rugby players. Except this one's an inclusive team. I don't think they're all gay. But yeah, the category of 2021 was rugby. There are 5 guys, so I thought they were going to bring someone back. I thought they were going to do a surprise return.
Yeah.
But they just randomly cut one of the guys, which I kind of don't hate that.
Yeah.
Like, give them variety, and then if they choose that one person in the room is not the right fit for them, they can send them packing.
Well, because,
I kind of like that.
Do you know what that gave me? It gave me, we didn't have this planned out beforehand.
Oh, yeah?
Like, not like in a non-shady way. Not like, okay, this person could go to that person. This person could go to that person. Like,
I see what you mean.
It just felt like, okay, well, we need this many people. Why don't we get 5 just in case?
Yeah. Oh,
it's
that
not
makes
like,
sense.
okay, like, let's cast this one for Killer. Let's have this one for Sahi.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I felt just more organic.
Yeah, and I like that. And you know what was organic? Fernando. I looked him up, and that there's a lot of meat going on. I looked up his Instagram, and they made this big deal in the workroom about how much tape needed to go to taping him back. And Poopy goes over there and is staring and is talking about how she'll blow him. And then,
yeah, Poopy's crazy.
Not as crazy as Carmen, who starts doing her zombie voice and throating her water bottle.
Absolutely
sexually harassing this beautiful man.
Behavior. Like, absolutely unhinged behavior. And he just got this huge smile.
Yeah,
like,
he's just chilling. He's loving everything, which was so funny. But yeah, Carmen gets to assign everyone because she won the mini challenge. And Killer gets Fernando, who is so... I can't express how hot this man is. I read on Reddit when I was looking up extra things about this episode.
Yeah.
Someone said that Spanish men are proof that God loves the gays. And Fernando is a good example of that. So we get to the runway and V looks great. I want to talk about these looks because they made these.
Oh, the makeover looks.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. As far as I can tell, they didn't bring any of these. So let's start the way they're listed on the wiki. We have Carmen and Carla Farala. Holy smokes. Is this Marsha? Fun. This looks like Marsha.
Oh my God. Marsha.
She's beautiful.
Also, what is his name?
The guy?
I don't remember the sidekick's name, but doing Sherlock and...
Oh, Watson.
And Watson.
Mm-hmm. I thought you meant the makeover dude, and I'm like, I didn't write his name down.
No. But doing like a Sherlock and Watson idea.
Yeah.
For the makeover is so cute.
That's brilliant. And they look great. I mean, this multi-piece, I love that Carmen does separates so often because you don't really see separates in a design challenge too often.
Carmen and she does those matching separates, which I love. Like it's all the same fabrics, everything's the same, but it's just cut up.
And impeccable.
A sign of her style is very Miami, which I love. Mm-hmm. She's such a Miami girl.
She really is. I mean,
I'm sure Miami is inspired by
Carmen Farala.
By Carmen, yeah. And I also just like the differentiation in the styling. Like she took the more masculine styling because she is Womana.
Yeah.
And then putting the fitted dress on the makeover.
Yeah.
She looks like a sexy secretary.
With that cute little necktie and everything and that soft fabric. Oh, she looks so cute. And the mug was mugging.
I
would have thought that she was made over by a professional. Like someone who has been doing makeup for the last 35 years. Knows exactly what they're doing. Does not have to do their own makeup.
She looked like a top model girl.
She really did. She looked like a woman.
Yeah, she looks like a Russian woman to me.
She did look vaguely European. But God, she looked gorgeous. They were everything. They rightfully won the challenge. And they're the only ones. There's not even a top two.
It's literally a winner and then everyone else.
Yeah, which I kind of loved. We're jumping ahead, but we'll get there. So then we have Killer and Slayer Queen. I loved the props of having the guns. I thought that was actually really cute. The name being Killer. They're here to kill and slay. Yeah. What do you think about these sort of spy at a dinner party? Just came back from Ross, put on our gold corsets and our red hair and white garters for some reason.
I mean, hate a corset over a dress.
Do you really?
Just a corset on a dress? It's just like a dress that like you would wear for like the title card of Real Housewives with a corset on it. That is one of my least favorite drag queen specials. So
I'm not just a slut. I'm stupid.
So let me point out my confusion.
Okay,
my
please
confusions. I feel like maybe Killer had hers already because her corset is much more of a flattering, like it creates that natural like feminine curve, like that, like the opposite of like how men have the V, like she is creating the U.
Yeah, totally.
It's creating that like lovely little like feminine U shape around her belly, like with the way that the corset is like curved, compared to where his is a lot more like straight across. And then also, I feel like it would have made more sense for the buff man to have the sheer loose sleeve. Yeah. Because it's a sheer like overshirt. Right. And then with like a loose kind of like bell sleeve. I feel like it would kind of hide the arms because she did a glove up to the elbow.
Oh,
which was crazy to me.
And they're handless.
Yeah. Because like, I've seen buff queens do an opera length and then it sits right under the cut of their bicep.
Right.
So then it just like, it's just the straight, like all the way down because you're not seeing all of the shape of it.
Right.
Maybe he was too buff for that to happen.
Maybe.
But I think that Killer's sheer overshirt would have over thing would have been cuter.
It is.
But I feel like Killers just was already made because there's that really nice like edge.
The edge has been surged.
That surged edge and the way that it waves. And then like the trim of the makeovers is so much thicker.
It is.
So like, I don't know. That's
totally valid. I think Killer's makeup is beautiful. And she's had some makeup problems the last couple of weeks.
Oh, she looks amazing this week.
I don't understand where this mug came from because the last couple have been rotten.
Yeah, but no, this like fierce, like the brow's a little thinner. Everything's a little more like bitchy, I feel. She looks a little more like, oof.
Like a superhero somehow.
Yeah.
And or like a supervillain.
Yeah, and the red is gorgeous on her too. That deep red hair.
Do we want to talk about Poopy, or do we want to just acknowledge that Poopy and Peppy had a lot of energy and were really having a good time?
Poopy and Peppy sound like they should be the little Italian mini cars in the Car series. I don't know what their real names are, but I'm just imagining it's like, oh, it's Poopy and Peppy. And they're like the little like excited Italian
mini cars.
Like, yeah, I think they worked in the auto shop or something. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're referring to.
It's like, oh, it's Poopy and Peppy. Oh, Landy McQueen.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, no.
These looks are absolutely crazy.
They're supposed to be like cheerleaders, but they're not dressed appropriately for that. Those sweater vests are so crazy.
The purple, the frumpy purple is too much.
And there's a long half skirt that Pepe is wearing. It's like a high-low, but it's turned to the side.
Yeah.
It's rotten. Oh, God. The wig.
It's just like we can't. There's just like nothing good to say about it. Like
it was a jump scare when she turned around.
It was really like it's that early season Marvel of like you can't get levels of bad like this in like seasons 5 and above.
Never.
You have to go to season 1 or 2 for this.
This is a very special early season energy that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Then we move on to Sahi and Neptuna,
who I think would have won if
the
Carmen didn't exist.
Oh, well, that also too.
Yeah, if Carmen Farala didn't exist, I think that Sahi was probably the next best.
Sahi looked really good, and she said she made this look that she's wearing.
I can see that.
The outfit that Neptuna's wearing was hers.
I can see that. Why the titties don't fit. It's like Sahi's like puss and her makeover's boobs are like both fighting to escape. Sahi loves like that Barbie puss no underwear, and it's crazy to me. Like maybe I'm just like I don't know. Maybe I'm like conservative and I don't know it. Like maybe I'm a right winger, but like that's
not doing it.
The Barbie pussy with like the newts like up like coming out like out the sides like.
Was that her that did that, or was that Dovima? And that was Sahi in episode 1. It was Sahi,
yeah.
And the balls were visible.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a trend with her, like she goes for it.
Visible.
She goes for it. Yeah. But I mean, nuts. Slay. It is nuts. Well, it's nuts.
Mama.
And then makeover, boobs out, Jimbo inspiration.
Very
for sure.
Jimbo. This was Canada 1 Jimbo.
Yeah.
This was that makeover that she did. I don't remember what that girl's name was, but this was literally them.
It's giving Jimbo. It's giving CC Superstar.
Stop, I love her.
Falling off the lounge chase in the boudoir with their boob coming out.
I love her so much. I love CC Superstar so much.
It's giving Plain Jane doing an entire lip sync with her boob out.
Yes, after Burger Finger.
Yeah, all the good things.
Only as they can be. Neptuna did talk about how she was attacked for back in March, and she said that someone said something about COVID-19, and then she woke up 2 days later, and that story was crazy.
Yeah,
it is really jarring because Drag Race normally doesn't open up the door for those types of conversations.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that they made space for that to be told here, because that is an important conversation. It's a barrier of racism that does not get addressed. And if I'm not terribly mistaken about my timeline, and if my memories are not too faded from these last 5 years, which are all a blur, I do remember the AAPI community really starting to find their voice around like 22-ish, where they're all very loudly saying, we are experiencing immense amounts of racism post-COVID-19, and we got to stop this. And we are just as discriminated against as any minority group. We've just been very quiet about it, and we're done being quiet.
Yeah.
And so I appreciated that this conversation was brought up, because at the time, that was very culturally relevant, because that's when voices were starting to stir.
Yeah.
You know? It was not dissimilar to Simone coming out in that white gown, fascinating fascinators, right around the time that the Black Lives Matter movement really was starting to gain its traction.
Totally.
Very, very similar in energy. So I appreciated that they allowed that. I thought the judging was really fair. Because normally that's a problem.
For makeovers, right? But no, I think they looked at things very
judicially.
Yes.
Carmen's the winner, and Poopy, Sahi, and Killer all have to lip sync. Oh, I was gagged.
Oh, yeah.
I was gagged. This song choice was really good. But
I don't remember what it's called. Da 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 da. Da da. It's like
Chenoa, Cuando Tu Vas.
Cuando tu vas.
Yeah. Cuando tu vas. It was so good. God, it had all great beats. It had a really campy approach to the way that it was sung. It had some really great hits. And my favorite part was that Killer was kind of running her mouth backstage. She was like, Sahi, you should be top 3. And Poopy's like, oh, so I should go home? And she said, no, I'm just saying, I think that Sahi should be at top 3. And if anyone's at the bottom, it should be me. I should be the one going home over anyone else. So I almost wonder if that was like a producer saying, well, if you want to run your mouth backstage, you can lip sync then.
Yeah. Twirl for us.
It was so fierce. But yeah, the song was great. I watched it literally 2 or 3 times. The judges were losing their shit.
The judges were living. I loved it. They were gagged when Poopy did that split.
Yes, I was gagged.
Yeah. Like everyone was gagged when Poopy did that split.
And when she got on the ground and did that bicycle thing with
her
legs, she looked like a little frog upside down, like bicycling.
Yeah, her Killer doing the splits like every like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Sahi like smacking her pussy at them.
It was everything. God, that lip sync was so good. And I'm really glad that the top 4 lip sync turned the party, because it did. And I did not know who was going to go home. It could have been any of them, because they were all that good. You know?
Yeah.
God, that was a great lip sync. Cuando tu vas. God, it was it. So yeah, Spanish Streamala is out.
Rip.
I loved Poopy.
Can I just say I love Poopy?
I love Poopy Poison. Poopy Poison, baby. So then we move into the grand finale. And I don't have a ton to talk about, except Scruffy Valentina was weird for me. That was odd. That video message. And she like had a pube mustache. Some people should not grow facial hair.
Yeah.
Valentina's one of them.
Because this is also pre-Drag Race Mexico.
Oh, yeah. I do want to say, on a recording note, so I just finished watching Thailand Season 3, The Ball Challenge, which you have not perceived yet.
No.
And we were talking about this earlier, and I said I would bring it back up. Is in The Ball Challenge, they did not separate the categories by songs. Normally, they'll do like champion, kitty girl, whatever the main runway theme is.
Yeah.
It was a 15-minute stop and go cut of You Wear It Well. And it has been trapped in my brain because I was forced to listen to it for 15 whole minutes during that ball. So as soon as Supreme said, and you'll be lip syncing to You Wear It Well, I slammed my desk and I shouted, no, not this again.
Please.
No, please.
Well, hey, Do you know who else hates You Wear It Well?
Who?
Carmen Farala.
Rightfully so.
It was so amazing to see her just outright bash RuPaul's music.
Yeah. I could not believe it.
It was so iconic.
But also, this is the worst song to give to non-English speakers. There's so many words, and they're big words too.
It's not. Some of them are really random words because some of it are like styling terms, so they're not like common English words.
Right. Almost the entire hook are all hairstyles.
Yeah,
and those don't translate to
the fast part, all of the things they're saying fast, those are all like styling terms where it's like those aren't like regular like slay, fierce, like things you can remember easily.
Yeah. What is it like? Mohawk, work that high and tight, dreadlock.
Yeah.
Serve it day and night.
Bone straight, lay it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't even know it.
And you're supposed to learn that as a non-English speaker who doesn't even know what those words are, so you can't even connect them in your brain.
And the part was like, sophisticated.
Yeah. You know, I will say years ago, this is so random, and I just remembered, I was auditioning for season 10, and I lip-synced to this song, season 10 or 11. And I lip-synced to this song, and I wanted to, but we could not find the right photo for it. You know, where it says, work it for me, me. I was going to pull out a frame photo of Mimi M first.
Oh my God.
But I could not find a good enough photo to print out. And I also thought, like, if RuPaul perceives this music video, is she going to be like, who's that?
Who is that?
Who is that they're holding a picture up of?
Yeah, right?
So I cut it. Anyway, so this was garbage that they had to do this. But Carmen looked really good. Sahi's makeup was flawless. Killer had great energy. I love the transition from the music video to the main stage.
Yeah, that was well done.
That was everything. And then we get all the girls coming back.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about some highlights real quick?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I would love to.
So we have Arancha
as Ghostface.
I love her. God.
This was so cute with her little like scream mask. I loved it.
Yeah, she looked really freaking cute.
Yeah, I thought this was really fun.
And it was like Scream meets Elvira.
Yeah, totally. Loved it.
And then Dovima, looking like an old Hollywood glam superstar lantern. She was like giving, God, what is that? Art Deco?
Very Art Deco. Yeah, so gorgeous. Love the palette. Love the silhouette. Stunning.
Drag Volcano. My mouth dropped.
Drag Volcano being maximum Drag Volcano.
That was insane. All these feathers.
Yeah.
This is like that?
Yeah, this is Canary's drag like turned up to 10 for sure.
This is everything. Literally, I paused the episode to gasp and to collect my breath.
Yeah.
This is so good.
It's so fun and interesting from what I've gathered, like, because the Canary's drag is very like, it's a mix of like carnival, like that kind of like fun, like big festival almost, like celebratory costume mixed with like something a little like warrior-ish mixed with like something else, like almost like video game, like villain, like something like, it's super fun. Really love it.
It's a parade float.
Yeah, totally.
This is. Hugasio's is really good. I mean, it's on par with everything. I didn't feel like blown away by it, other than like, whoa.
Yeah,
that's just cool.
Gorgeous as always. Makeup amazing.
They look like a street painting almost.
Yeah,
they don't
totally.
look real. I did not love Inti's look, but I did like their reunion look quite a bit. Their reunion was really cute. And I enjoyed that more than this.
Yeah, I had to scroll back. Yeah, I agree. I love Inti though.
I do too. I hope they get to come back for something in the future.
Yeah.
And then we have my queen Poopy.
Poopy Poison in the JDJK special.
Yes, it was very JDJK, but this was the regional variant. The Pearl variant of it. And then Macarena coming out as a Transformer. I kind of gagged. I won't lie.
The mug with the like it's giving Buzz Lightyear. Like the black strap like up to the chin.
Yeah.
The the costume was cool, but I think the way that she was wearing it was kind of crazy.
It was. I did gag a little bit though. I won't lie. So let's just cut through to the end. Do we want to talk about the finalist looks? Do we have anything to say about them? Or are you okay? Because I mean, I really did like, of all of them, if I'm going to choose one of my favorites, I thought that Killer looked amazing. I loved this Ursula look, and her makeup was so good.
Yeah, Killer looked gorgeous. I feel like winning in an Ursula look would be kind of weird, though.
A little bit.
Agree?
Yeah.
I just like, I have a hard time picturing her like with the crown and scepter in this look.
Me too.
Sahi's is pretty. It's very simple, but I like that it's basically an evolution of her performance look.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Carmen looks gorgeous as always. I loved the way the skirt came off for the lip sync too.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
To me, it was kind of similar to like Raja's finale outfit. Like it was just very simple, but it was very them.
Yeah.
That's what this was. This outfit was very top model crowning. Remember when the girls would come out in sandals and
oh my gosh,
a beach dress?
Usually just whatever, like something relevant to wherever they were for the finale. Like they'd be in like a native like garment or something.
For like the first 4 seasons, then they started making a spectacle. Carmen definitely gives me cycle 1 through 4 top model energy. Every time she comes out, it's like, you are giving me top model, girl. And I kind of live for that energy. So the final song translates to The Cat Under the Rain, and you specifically said I should try and watch either with subtitles or look at the lyrics while it was playing.
Yeah.
So I did so. I followed the assignment. And that moment in that very last bar where it's, and I'll just stay here under the rain, and she rips that dry wig off to reveal the wet wig.
Yeah.
And she like pulls her strap down like
like her shoulders bare and like,
oh my God, I gasped.
It was so good, right?
The performance was incredible. My favorite part was the Javis passing over their cards to Supreme before the lip sync even finishes. Done. There were like a whole 35 seconds left, and they passed their cards over and stood up to like clap and woo along. And then Anna passes her card over, and Supreme looks at them and walks off to get the crown. Like, I don't even need to wait till this is done. The lip sync song is going to wrap, and I'm going to walk down that runway and give her this bitch the crown. Yeah. That was everything to me. Like, they didn't have any disagreement at all. It's like, well, she won, but I give it to her.
Well, and honestly, she already was chewing that lip sync before it even got to that wig reveal. Because she was feeling it. It was very gorgeous, and like the way she was like using her hands and like the way she like moved her body into like the inflections of the song. Like she was giving the most of the three of them. Like it was coming out of her mouth.
Yeah. I love a ballad too for a finale.
Oh, totally. And it was exciting because we'd just seen the two of them lip sync the episode prior, but we hadn't seen Carmen lip sync all season.
Isn't that wild? We have not seen her lip sync at all, except in the group challenge.
Yeah.
Where they had to do the lip syncing girl group, but we haven't seen them lip sync.
Yeah. Well, okay. And she, not to invoke her name.
Oh.
Their name, James. Season 2.
Majesty?
No. Tyra.
Oh.
The artist formerly known as Tyra. Jane. What was that? James?
You said season 2, and my brain immediately went to Dragula.
James Majesty.
Yeah.
Valid. She didn't lip sync all season, and then she murdered that final lip sync.
She did.
She went to 10 immediately.
Yeah.
But with Carmen, it was so good. Because it was such an emotional performance, and she just was like so feeling it, and you could tell everyone else was feeling it,
and they were screaming and hollering like they were bachelorettes at brunch.
Well, because like what a genius concept. Because the reason I wanted you to look up the lyrics is because like I remember seeing a lot of discourse around the time of American fans being like, so what, she like revealed a wet wig and everyone like lost their mind, like I don't get it. People who don't understand like the like to tie it into the song. It was so clever, and, like, so genius, and like
she was everything, and she had been all season.
Yeah.
And she was that girl. So I have to ask, Do you think anybody else could have won, or do you think it was just her? I mean, in an idyllic situation where like your favorites who were doing the best go to the very end. In my opinion, I thought Poopy was really good, but I still don't even see her being able to win. Carmen was just that girl.
Carmen was that girl. She was the only option.
Yeah. I mean, there was not a single person on that cast. Not that they were bad. They were all really good. Yeah. Carmen was just better legitimately. Yeah. And the main character energy that she has is, not to invoke her name again, but I mean, it was very James. It was very Sharon. Yeah. It was that same energy because they had main character energy and maintained it all season.
Yeah. From the jump.
I feel like James stumbled a little more than Sharon did. Yeah. But like Sharon didn't really stumble. Yeah. Even her one bottom wasn't really a justifiable bottom. That was a TV bottom. Yeah. It should have been maybe Chad and Dita, maybe, because they were pretty awful. But like, you know, I mean, there have been so many other really great queens that have come through the show and have been on other seasons. I know people live, laugh, love Sasha, Sasha Velour, Bianca. People are, and Bob are people that they say like those were the best winners. But even then, all of them had their stumbles. They had moments where other people definitely were stronger than them in challenges. But Carmen was never bad. No. Not once.
She was mother. Mm-hmm. She was that girl. Like, she was every role. Yeah, she was every woman. She really was.
And now I must ask the very final question. If you were to bring back one contestant for a Versus the World or a Global, who would it be and why?
Ooh, well, thankfully, we've already been blessed by Arantxa.
Uh-huh. Love her.
So...
And weren't Poopy and Sahi in All-Stars?
Yeah, so you're going to see Poopy and Sahi in España All-Stars. Mm-hmm. Is there anyone else from season 1?
I don't think so.
I feel like, is Killer Queen there?
I don't remember seeing her on the list, but maybe she was.
If there is a third person, it's Killer Queen. But I can't remember. Ugasio was supposed to be on Global All-Stars, but she didn't pass the English test.
It can't be that hard to have a translator on set. It just can't be. On a CT. In Project Runway, season 12 or 13, they had a deaf contestant. And they had a sign translator that was there to help with any barriers in case he didn't understand. He had a cochlear implant. So he could hear for the most part. But there were times where maybe he needed a little extra assistance. Yeah. So like, it can't be that Supplementation. Yeah. Yeah. It can't be that hard to just have someone on set who can speak multiple languages and help some of the ESL girls. It can't be.
I think that I would love to see Poopy's gremlin energy in front of RuPaul. Yes. I think it would be hilarious. I don't think that they would be able to handle it.
No, they would die.
But I love it for that reason. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, like, Carmen on like an international all winners would be dope. Yeah. But I think like really like a global all winners would like really be the tea.
That would be hot.
Like, imagine like her, Envy,
Priyanka.
Oh my
Danny.
Gosh. Oh.
Raja. O'Hara.
I was like, which Raja? And then like, let's bring in like either like Mexico or Brazil. Ooh. Or then like, you know, like a Belgique, like another European.
Andale. Anong.
Andale. Yeah.
Miss Angeli. Yeah. I mean, that would be fierce.
Oh, God, yeah.
I would, if I don't know what their English capabilities are, but if I could wave a wand so that they knew English and they could be there, Inti. But specifically Canada.
Inti on Canada, period.
I would love to see them in front of Brooke and Brad. And what is that one girl's name? Not Tracy.
Amanda Brugel?
No. Oh. Not Amanda Brugel.
Oh,
the one girl that is in First Nations. You know who I'm talking about, right? I cannot remember her name. They swapped her out.
That she's literally just there to be a Drag Race judge.
Yeah, like, she's literally only there in the second half of the season when Tracy can't be there.
But she's dope. I love her.
And she's a First Nations individual, and I think she would really appreciate what Inti does.
Yes.
And would praise that. Oh, so I would love to see Inti in front of Canada, because I don't think Rue would get it.
Yeah, I'm featuring that.
Yeah. So, any controversial hot takes about this season?
Let's see.
I know you got one.
I do.
I know you do. You've got to.
I do. Okay, well, it's not really a hot take, but I think I mentioned when I texted to you that I almost put Sahi and Dovima's lip sync in my top 10.
Oh, right.
Because it kind of is one of my top 10 favorite lip syncs of all time. I think it's so iconic. And I think Dovi's iconic for that. And I think that, like, they could never in front of RuPaul.
Never.
Shake their head no.
She would stop the lip sync and yell.
And I love it. Okay, so maybe that's a hot take. Is like RuPaul not being there, it just creates better TV. Because like Inti quitting, Dovima not lip syncing, like stuff like this. There's just a level of like, I feel like the girls are a little too buttoned up in front of RuPaul.
Totally.
Where it's like they need to let their hair down.
Do they need to let loose?
Let loose. I think Lucy LeDuc was right all along. Let loose.
I said let loose. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Since I've watched the season now, and you know, if I were to go back and hand wave a contestant in for those top 10 lip syncs that we talked about, Mocatriz.
Oh my gosh.
That was so good. Modelo, tantana actriz. God.
Iconic. And then them all like jumping on the stage at the end.
Yes. Mocatriz was so good. That was a great song.
España, the girl that you are.
Yeah. And then that last song, the top 4 one.
Yeah.
And the cat one. God, those are all so good.
Yeah. All so good.
All great songs. Okay. My hot take is that Spanish Srimala should have won Snatch Game.
Oh, spill. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think Poopy should have won that one. And there was another challenge that I thought Poopy should have won. I feel like Poopy was definitely top 3 material, but also Killer destroyed that top 4 lip sync.
So I was going to say, who would you have put in there?
Poopy. Okay, I do want to say
Poopy, Killer,
Poopy,
Carmen?
I would do Poopy, Sahi, Carmen.
Period.
I did think it was despicably evil that they made Poopy hold the crown walking out
my God,
with
right?
Supreme. That was
what
evil.
was that?
They were like, we were supposed to bring Anna up here, and Envy was supposed to be here too, but she bailed last second.
Yeah.
So Poopy, can you come here?
Poopy.
Can you just hold on to this? And she's like standing there holding the crown with like 30,000, and she's like, ooh.
It's so funny. It's giving
evil.
Season 4 when they make the previously eliminated girl hold the check. It's also giving season 7 finale when she's about to crown them and then she calls out Katya to get her water.
I was just thinking about Katya. Can I have a sip of water? And then Katya's pulling a bottle out of nowhere. Yeah, it was the same evil energy.
Yeah,
it was great though. So that wraps us up on España 1.
I'll miss her.
I'll miss her too. She was a good season.
She was. She was
genuinely very sad that it's over.
Well, there's always season 2.
That is true. And I'm excited for that one. Next week, we are discussing what I know is your favorite season. That you've probably blocked out. Holland too.
Mary Jane Holland. Woohoo! Lady Gaga song.
So scared because everybody that I've talked to about this season says Holland is a train wreck.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
Yeah. Girl, get into it. Girl, get ready.
I'm not.
You're not ready?
I'm not. I'm scared.
Well, this is the only one that's been outright canceled.
Yeah, that's why I'm scared. It got canceled.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. And there's like a lot of drama too, which I feel like we'll spend most of our time
talking about that.
Yeah. Because I mean, the first season of Holland, there really wasn't a lot to talk about. But we're jumping far ahead.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see how it reveals itself to you.
Yeah. It would be such a gag if I'm like, girl, I love this season.
Can I just say I love Drag Race Holland?
Can I just say I loved Fred and Holland? I did hear that Envy wants to start up Holland Drag Race again, and was on a podcast with Nikki Tutorials, and she was saying that she'd come in and play the Michelle role.
Love it.
I would actually die.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
That would be fun.
That'd be a good poll. Nikki Tutorials. Because she was a judge. I think that she's going to be on this upcoming season.
Oh, really? Very nice. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We will chat with you next week. Remember, you're doing a fantastic job. You're doing the best you can, and that is all you can do. Goodbye.
Bye.